Shout out to Cody for the crazy video of when he went to Florida and drove his monster truck into the water. Dude's crazy. One day I hope to meet you, bro. Awesome content, as always. But that's not what tonight's video is about. Tonight's video is all about what we are going to be doing with the Juke this upcoming season. So, as you guys can tell, I have my 3 spokes on here for the snow. If you guys follow along with the Facebook, you'll see that I actually took my works, or raised gram lights, whatever you want to call them, my fancy stance boy wheels, and put them on snow tires and put them on our Jeep. Well, if you guys are wondering why I did that, is why. So, these are the wheels that I have always wanted for the Juke. Now, this video is going to be a lot of talking and then a special surprise because I got 2 more wheels and tires that I purchased that I'm going to test fit on the Juke after I get these on here and these off, even though these are going back on because these are my snow tires and these are going to be my autocross tires. But I also got the other set that I'm really interested in because now that we have the H22 EK, we are going to be trying to take that Juke front wheel drive 13-second record and shove that thing down into the 12s, maybe even an 11-second pass out of a factory motor Juke. So for those of you that are new to the channel and have never seen my Nismo Juke before, I'm going to give you a rundown on what the Juke is, what the plans are, and what the goals are now that we have another daily driver. So this thing is a 2013 Nissan Nismo Juke. It now has 108,000 miles on it. This car has BC coilovers, which are custom spec'd by me. It has front and rear strut bars. It has a rear X bar, has a rear sway bar. It has a 2J Racing front mount intercooler. It also has engine hard pipes, an engine cold air intake, 3-spoke gang sticker. But basically this car is stock turbo, stock transmission, stock clutch, just bolt-ons. It has nothing crazy done to it. So I set the record drag racing on street tires, actually a set of 225 Nitto Neogens, which in Florida work amazing. I set that record with no intercooler piping, no front mount intercooler, with just an intake and exhaust. The car has a 2J downpipe with an engine 3-inch exhaust, which I've done a video that shows you how it sounds. It's got like 20,000 views. But the record I did was a 13.651 at 102.51 miles an hour. Now, currently, that is the fastest time for a MR16 powered vehicle that is not a Juke R. Now, when I say MR16 powered, all the chassis, the Pulsar overseas, the Sentra here in the United States, and also the Juke here in the United States. I absolutely love that, and the only thing, like I said, that I did other than the performance bolt-ons, which at the time didn't have much, was pull out the interior. The Juke weighed 2,603 pounds without me in it, with a 1/4 tank of gas. So now that I gave you all that information, let's get to exactly what the plans are. So the limitation and the biggest problem I've had drag racing the Juke is the inconsistencies on 60-foot, because I've always done it on a stock clutch and a stock tire. Well, these are the future. So these are a set of 26-inch tall by 8.5 slicks. So I actually went back to my stock brakes. I used to have a set of Nismo RS brakes on here, which are 1 inch bigger. And the problem with that is I can't fit a 15-inch slick or wheel on the car. Well, I can fit a slick. I can't fit the wheel. I've tried a 15x8. I've tried a 15x7. I actually took a grinder to the brake calipers, which most people do, that run decent-sized brakes, and they run little slicks on their car. But the problem is no matter what I did, even with a 1-inch spacer or a 2-inch spacer, I could not get it to clear. Well, M&H came out with these small. These are small for 17s because most of the time people that are running 17-inch slicks are running them on Mustangs, and Mustangs, a 26-inch tire is actually very small. The factory height tire on a Juke is a 225/45/18. If you look that up on Google, that is 25.91 inches tall. These slicks are 26 inches tall. The Juke also has very, very short gearing. If you guys ever notice when I do pulls or I'm driving around in it, it's always at high RPM. It is geared like that because it's a 1.6 crossover and it doesn't make much power from the factory, so they need it to feel snappy. So they give it a good gear set. Nobody has broken the stock transmission in one of these. I've gotten so many comments that I posted these slicks saying that I'm going to snap the stock transmission. Nobody has done it yet. Now, if it happens, it happens. But so far, my limitation has been the slick tire and the clutch. As I showed you in a few videos a while ago, I have a clutch for the car. I have a turbo upgrade for the car. And we're going to get it retuned and hopefully make around 300, 330 wheel horsepower, which is my end-all goal. Because if I can get this thing down to 2,500 pounds with 300 to 320 wheel horsepower, maybe 330 wheel horsepower, I should, not going to promise anything, not going to guarantee anything because I have a lot of other cars to work on and build, but I should be able to get the Juke to do an 11-second pass. Now, it might take a lot of work. It might take a couple transmissions. It might take a built motor. Who knows what it's actually going to take because nobody has tried. Now, I did the 13 pretty easily in 94-degree day in Florida in the middle of the summer. So if I would have had a front mount and everything that I have now then and got retuned, the car would have went faster. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. When I did that 13-second pass, this thing was making around 225 to 230 wheel horsepower because I've dynoed it in that same trim. So, autocross setup, drag race setup. The Juke kind of does everything. This is the daily driver, or was my daily driver. Now that I have an H22 to drive around, if you guys haven't watched the H22 EK videos, go check them out. And yeah, maybe 12s for the Juke, maybe 11s. We're going to have to get the turbo on. We're going to have to get the clutch upgraded. We're going to have to get the slicks on. We're going to have to get to gutting. I'll probably end up taking the rear subframe bracing out, take the front subframe bracing out, remove sway bars and everything. I'm going to keep them so when I go autocrossing, I can put them back on. But to set the record, it'll probably have to happen. So I know it's been a lot of talking now, and if you go back into the videos from a while ago, you will see that I was hanging out with that Fiesta ST owner that went 10s. You can go check his car out on other channels and also on my channel. I have a more in-depth video on his car. And if you notice in his videos, he's on nitrous, he's fully gutted, and he's running a big slick and skinny. His car actually went low 11s with street tires on the rear and slicks on the front while gutted without the crazy amount of nitrous. Now, once he was going for a 10-second pass, he had to go up past 100 shot to get to the 10s. So maybe if we can get the Juke into the low 12s and we can't hit that 11-second pass, we'll throw some nitrous at it. But I personally think I can get this thing to go 11s. It might take a lot more work. It might not. Who knows? It went 13.5, 13.6 pretty easily on a street tire with a, I believe I did a 2.10 60 foot or 2.0 60 foot. That Fiesta, he's doing 1.6s and 1.7s. So if you take every 10th off the front, it's usually 2 to 3 tenths out the back end. So if I could take that 2.0 and get down to a 1.7, this thing would already went mid 12s or high 12s on a street tire. So if we add 100 wheel, hopefully we'll limit the torque somewhere around 280, 300 mark. So it's not as abusive on the transmission. We put a real clutch in it, which if you guys notice, that's sometimes an issue too. The clutch starts slipping mid passes, and I can't do 2 or 3 passes in a row without it overheating. The clutch does not like it. It's a dual mass, which we're deleting. We got a fuel pump. We also got an underdrive pulley. We got a lot of mods for the Juke that are going to be coming up. But this video is all about the wheel and tire options and my dream wheels for the Juke, which I've always wanted, because even though it's not the exact same color as the red, it's going to make the red accents all the way around the car pop amazing. I know it's really dirty. It was just snowing yesterday, so let's get to me throwing these wheels on. I don't know. This got me feeling some type of way. Let me see how you guys... Is that a Juke on a drag slick? Rock the 3 spokes on the back. 26 by 8.5. Like nothing. Under the flare. I don't even know what to say. All right, let's get the RPF ones on. Those are for once we got it turned up. Fit perfect. I am so excited. If you guys are wondering, 26 by 8.5, 17. Perfect on a juke. Oh, looks so hard. Oh. So much clearance in there for the brake too. I could go back to my big brakes. Oh. Drag competition series. All right, guys. So let's talk about wheel, offset, tire ratio. Factory juke wheels are 18 by 7.5. They have a 45 offset and they weigh 22.75 pounds. They're some heavy little suckers. My 3 spokes are 17 by 9 plus 31 and they weigh 23.4 pounds for the 17 by 9s. RPF 1s, the common basic white girl Starbucks wheels of aftermarket wheels, 17 by 9 plus 35, 17 pounds. So 5 pounds off each corner, 20 pounds of rotational mass just off the wheels. Now tires. I autocross and drag race and toge on the street and drive way too fast through mountain roads. So we went with a Bridgestone Potenza RE71R and a 245/40/17. This compound works amazing in every way. Like, this is the best tire made on the market that you can stick on a car that's going to work no matter what. And for autocross, the go-to. It's literally the GOAT of autocrossing for the last like 5 years. You're going to go to a track day, you're going to see 80% of the people that are there that know what they're doing are going to have these on them. So we have one of the lightest wheels, if not the lightest wheel I've ever had on the juke. The slicks are heavier than the RPF ones. We have a good ratio. As you can see, we have good clearance. So one of the issues I was running into autocrossing is because I had such a tall tire and wide tire with the 255/35 18s, is there was no sidewall. The sidewall was so thin that the car would either slide or push no matter what I tried. Even when I went to the tall sidewalls of the 45 series on the stock tire, I went faster. So this is the perfect in between with a better compound, with a lighter wheel, with a better offset for the car. So basically the best you could do. Now let's look. There's tons of clearance here. With the BC coils, the suspension doesn't have much movement. You can see in the rear, it's the same, if not more, 2-finger gap in the rear, 2-finger gap in the front. So, yes, this is the autocross setup for 2021. It's going to be the lightest, best version of the Juke ever. Like I said, we're going to attempt to go 11s drag racing. We're going to attempt to have some fun autocrossing, but I did put my TMPS sensors and everything so I can daily drive on the RPF 1s. I'm going to give this thing a bath maybe tomorrow when it's not snowing and 25 degrees outside. Maybe let it warm up in the 40s. But this is the new look. The mirrors don't match exactly, but you can definitely notice the red accents now. So maybe if I clean her up, give her a little bubble bath, she'll be looking super fresh. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until the next one, and hope you guys are ready to see us try to put this juke into the 12s and if not 11s. Like I said, might have to use nitrous, might have to use all the tricks in the book to get into the 11s, but I'm going to try. Now that I have a daily driver and other cars to drive in case I break it, I'm not worried about it, so let's push it to its limit. You guys are the greatest, as always. If you haven't subbed to Yo Spilt, sub down below, and until the next one.